It's actually snow coming out, but of course here at ground level it's raining because it's warmer out. But there's been some instances of graupel coming down, especially if you get into one of those heavier showers, because there's enough convection that there's some there's some convection which is causing some of those snowflakes to actually turn into graupel as they accrete more ice. Actually, a graupel is actually considered a hail embryo. So graupel is a form of hail or convective snow. But that's how hail begins. Hail begins as a snowflake, then it gets turned into graupel, and then as it gets bigger and bigger, it becomes a hailstone. And that's where you're most likely to find your graupel, is right in there. The sky does look pretty scary, actually. You can actually see those fall streaks. This is how the sky looks like during a pretty strong thunderstorm in the summer, except those striations would make it all the way to the ground, which is indicative of a torrential downpour. But of course, the precipitation right now is very light. It's light rain mostly. Actually, down there's actually some heavier precipitation. I don't know if you can see, but it looks a little hazy down there. That's because there's some moderate rain that's coming down from this cloud here. And there's also more stuff over there. It's kind of paralleling the, it's kind of almost parallel, but kind of coming at an angle like this. But what's mostly coming out, what's mostly reaching the ground is rain. It's not graupel, but there could be some if the precip gets heavy enough. But it's just mostly showers today. Because look at the temperature outside right now. It's 55 degrees, 54. But as we were driving earlier, there's one of the new buses, the new Prevost buses. Yeah, see? Now there's a little, rain's getting a little heavier now. But there isn't any like graupel coming down with this. It's just light rain. There is some of the this is what's basically coming down right now. And of course, if the temperatures were a little warmer today and you had some more cold air aloft, you could actually have had some thunderstorms if there was a little more instability today. But the air is not very unstable. The air is fairly stable. But looking down the road, I don't know if you can see this. Oh, crap. I don't know if you can see this, but actually see the road up there is really wet. That's that downpour that just came over here. So right now, I'm driving down the riding down the street. I'm not driving, but the road down here is a little wetter. It's gonna. Remember how I zoomed in all the way down there, showing how the streets looked a little wetter. So that's a couple blocks down the street. It's gonna. This is where, if there is any graupel, it will be more likely as you're having these bigger drops. There, see? The street looks wetter down here now. We're now approaching an area where the rain was a little heavier. Yeah, see? Streets still look a little wetter here. Not by much. But this is where the core of that shower came down from, right over there. And I don't see any graupel coming down. Just light rain. Light moderate rain is coming down. Now the rain's getting a little heavier, but there is no graupel coming down. It's all rain. So light moderate rain. We're getting one of these heavier showers. And Boston actually got some snow. Some parts of Worcester got quite a bit of snow actually. The streets look kind of wet here. How much longer do we have to wait for this damn light? About 10 more seconds. Oh, the rain was actually heavy enough here for some small puddles to form. Maybe there was some graupel here, I don't know. That could also be some of the rain from last night. There was quite a bit of rain yesterday, and through about like late yesterday evening, there was some good amount of rain that came through. And Connecticut and and good amount of Massachusetts got snow, especially part of southern New Hampshire. I don't know how much snow came down, but so basically, I encountered as I was driving back from Long Island, I encountered some graupel from a light shower. The drops were big, and there was some graupel and like pieces of ice embedded in that. But it was much lighter in intensity, even though the drops were bigger. It was more convective. This is less convective because it's more stratiform. There's a lot of what you call a stratocumulonimbus. They're not like a cumulonimbus thunderstorm. It's more of a convective stratus cloud. You get these on like cold air aloft days where there's a lot of just instability, but it's also really cloudy. But the sky looks pretty stratiform right now. See, there's some bigger drops embedded with the rain. So there is some convection with this activity, but not much. There's not like too much instability. For example, last spring there was a shower that was similar to this, weather that produced a lot of hail. But the air was more unstable that day than it is today. The surface temperature was about the same, but there was a deeper layer of cold air. And also there was more sunshine. I've been looking at the European, and they're showing a very powerful coastal storm forming in about 7 to 8 days out, 9 to 10 days out. And they're even showing possibly some snow for the Northeast because, 970 millibar low off the coast with, the 850 freezing level being over the New York City area. They're showing mostly rain, but, sometimes these storms could form their own cold air, through evaporation and dynamic cooling, and that could allow for snow. despite that, if the environment was earlier unsuitable for snow. You don't just entrench cold air from the north, but you also pull down some of the cold air from the upper levels, as well as cooling down the atmosphere as the precipitation gets heavier, and also pressure, as pressure falls, because pressure rises and cools. The more lift you have, the cooler the atmosphere gets, because as air rises, it cools. It follows the lapse rates. So the stronger a system gets, especially when you have the area with the most lift, that's where you're going to have the most cooling, both aloft and at the surface, or more so at the surface, and also from evaporational cooling. So I'm coming out, it's just raining lightly, but you can see those fall streaks. Those fall streaks, the sky does look pretty scary, actually. It definitely does, because what's giving the sky its scary appearance is actually snow that's falling out of the clouds and heavier precipitation. And this heavier precip is kind of evaporating before it reaches the ground. This is known as virga. Even though it's raining at ground level, not all the precip is reaching the ground, especially those striations you see over there. And this can produce strong winds. Because virga basically is precipitation that doesn't reach the ground. And virga, if intense enough, can actually produce damaging wind gusts. Because virga, causes cold air to be pulled down. Right now we're getting moderate rain. Oh, damn, it's actually getting pretty heavy right now. Oh, crap, wow. It's actually pouring right now. It's not even raining. It's actually pouring pretty good. Yeah, basically so it looks like there wasn't any grapple with this activity. Yeah. But I did encounter some grapple earlier today, but yeah, maybe I should stop talking about grapple for a bit. So, and of course, not too far away from here, it's actually snowing. Literally, it's only snowing about 1,000 feet up. That's all snow. That's why it's absorbing the light so easily. And it's a little gusty. Yeah, see, there's a good gust coming in right now. That's one of the downdrafts. Well, it wasn't windy earlier as the rain was getting heavy. That's because it was probably coming and then being pushed ahead by some of these winds, by the flow aloft. So some of these showers or bring some of the gustier winds towards the surface. It's not just a pure downdraft, but it's also like there's some gusty winds today because of the wraparound from the storm. So no hail, no grapple. Even though the environment is conducive for that, there is not enough instability, and the air is not cold enough for all the grapple to make it to the ground, or snow. The snow is mostly melting before it reaches the ground, because we're in the 50s. If we were in the 40s, and maybe we might be getting some wet snowflakes or grapple reaching the ground like earlier when it was a little cooler. There, now the drops are becoming a little more bigger. Yeah, it looks like there's a nice little shower coming in again. I'm going to check the radar one more time. This is actually the kind of weather I like. Well, it looks like it's mostly over now. Let me check the radar. Actually, So I just checked the radar. The shower that passed over us was pretty intense. That's an Embraer 195, I believe, or 175. That's definitely Embraer. It's probably a regional flight. But anyway, yeah, there's some pretty intense activity just to my north and northwest. Intense enough that when I use the tilt, there's orange. Actually, over there, there's actually... It's going to bypass me to the east a little bit, though. But there was yellows and oranges on radar. But no lightning with this activity. I'm just going to walk around a little, show you what I'm talking about. But I don't have much battery left. My phone is down to like 8% right now. So I'm going to continue streaming till my phone dies. But there is more precipitation that's rotating in from the north and northwest. Mostly from the northwest. So it's pinwheeling in like this. Like in Connecticut, it's coming in from the northeast, but then it turns north and then eventually northwest as it gets south of Westchester County. Which is why some of these showers are not coming in like some of the heavier showers are coming in at a bit of a slanted angle. So if you look at these clouds, they're coming in from this direction. Of course, if you go like 50, 60 miles north, they'll be coming in more from the northwest or even due north. Like in Boston, there's stuff coming in from the northeast. So this is a surface and upper level low there. But this low has a lot of cold air aloft. And you see that dark cloud over there? That's the heavier precip that I'm talking about. Yes, heavier than this shower. This shower just had dark green. It's a little bit of yellow, but mostly dark greens. See, these clouds are pretty stratiform. There's a lot of cold air in place today. The base of these clouds, even though they don't look that high, you know, the filtered sun there, that's actually all snow. Everything coming out of these clouds is all snow, but it's melting into rain because of the warm temperatures at the surface. But yeah, definitely the 850 level, the 850 line is definitely over us. That's why where you have the heaviest precip in Massachusetts, closer to the low, there's actually snow. It's still snowing in parts of central Mass right now. And if you do get into a convective cell, there could be some graupel, potentially. And yes, this little bit of sunshine is actually destabilizing the atmosphere. So we just had and these showers, some of them are individual, but the one that just hit us was on a line. It was kind of a, like one of these outer bands of this storm from the one that gave us a downpour yesterday. And the models handled this very well, especially the HRRR. It picked up on the convection pretty well. And earlier there was some graupel. There was. Right now I am at... Okay. I am now down to 4%, so I'm going to have to be ending the stream. I am not going to be ending it. I'm just going to pause the stream. And then I will film the rest later. Thanks for watching. And yeah, last night there was a fire on my block. There was an elderly neighbor. Two of my neighbors got taken to the hospital. They're both okay now, but one of them almost didn't make it. They were passed out in the elevator from smoke inhalation. The fire was likely caused by, my guess is something electrical. Probably, I don't know, maybe a toaster oven, space heater, because it is an apartment. And the thing is, it was pretty chilly last night because of that cold front that came through, and because it was already mid-April, they probably didn't turn on the heat, and so the neighbors resorted to using their own heat, or maybe they were cooking. I don't know. It was pre-dawn. It was like 2-3 a.m. in the morning when it happened. I was just about to go to sleep. I was already like drifting off to sleep when I was woken up by the ambulance and the fire trucks pulling up. I thought it was another false alarm, as there have been a lot of those calls on that street, and apparently it wasn't. And then when I saw the ladders going up, I knew it was serious. And then I saw smoke billowing out of the apartment window. There wasn't any flames though, but there was a lot of smoke. There was a good amount of smoke. And even I was able to smell it from my window. And I couldn't even get too close because they came inside with the hose and traveled up the stairs. And they were battling the fire from the inside. Like, so they didn't spray the hose directly into the building. They actually went inside with the hose and battled the fire at its source. It was probably a 1 or 2 alarm. Oh, there's that downpour over there. There could be some grapple in that. There is definitely some convection I saw on radar. There was a good amount of convection on radar. I'm going to check again. There even could be some lightning with that. I don't know. Probably not. There isn't enough convection for lightning, I would say. It's probably just either heavy rain with maybe some small grapple. Right now it's just drizzling. It's really light drizzle right now. Let me check the radar again. 3,000 feet, okay. So the freezing level, the level where the rain or snow changes to rain, or it's all snow, it's about 3,000 feet up. Already 1,000 feet up is already some mixing going on from about 3,000 to 1,000 feet. But anything above 3,000 feet, it's all snow. So yeah, at the top of the Empire State Building, there could be some wet snowflakes coming down. Definitely on the top of the Empire State Building, there's probably wet snowflakes. So one of those heavier showers pass over and you're at the top of one of the skyscrapers, you're probably going to be getting wet snow mixed with rain. And if it's light, probably all rain. Another Embraer. Right now, it's really cheap to go to Italy. I've been looking at round-trip flights to Naples because I want to visit Campi Flegrei. And it's only $342 to go to Naples. And then to travel within Europe, it's really cheap, like, what, $40, $50 if you don't have a carry-on. Ryanair. I mean, Ryanair doesn't go to Naples, I think, but it does go to a lot of other airports. I mean, look at the radar again. Some more cells coming in. Paranoia? Yeah, so there's some heavy showers. I just saw some cell that's popped up over southern Ulster County, about to cross into New Jersey. That's headed my way. There's also another cell that's in New Jersey that's possibly headed my way. So I'm gonna pause the stream for now. I'm not ending it, and I'll resume